comes Greshner. Score!
In on Colson. Fake the box! Oh, Malik!
Moves in on Lundqvist. Saved by Lundqvist.
Here comes Bore against Mike Richter. Saved by Richter!
Hey everybody, I'm Scott Lasky coming to you from the Rangers practice facility in Greenburgh, New York, and welcome to another edition of Rangers Fans Most Wanted, where this time we're talking about the greatest penalty shots and shootouts in Rangers history. Now in just a few moments we'll be going one-on-one with Rangers goaltender Steven Valiquette. But first, it's got to be one of the most exciting moments in all of sports, the penalty shot. Take a look at this.
Sidney Crosby 0 for 1, moves in on Lundqvist. Save made by Lundqvist.
As promised, one of the tougher net miners in the league to beat one-on-one, Mr. Steven Valiquette.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Very nice to see you too.
We just saw some of the greatest regular season penalty shots in Rangers history. More pressure on the shooter or you, the guy stopping the shot?
Well, unless you're actually in the net, you don't really know what that feels like, but we're told that there's more pressure actually on the shooter. Statistically speaking, the goaltender does a little bit better, so it's different when you're in the net though, and the Madison Square Garden fans are going wild, of course.
So let's talk now about the mental and physical aspects of the penalty shot. What are you thinking about? This is before the whistle is blown, you see the player at center ice. What are you starting to think about?
Well, what I do is I try and I guess get my eyes as open as I can, and that sounds kind of weird to somebody that doesn't know, but to really try and open your eyes all the way and really focus on the puck, but also what player is approaching you and what hand they are shooting. Most of the time I like to try and get myself really worked up and get really angry, and that kind of gets me focused and amped up, and you know we do these kinds of things, and that's the way we kind of get.
You
up
really you get angry. You try and get yourself worked up that way.
I get myself as angry as possible. I try to do whatever I can to trick my mind into absolutely really disliking that player that's going to be approaching me for the shot.
So the player's approaching you now. What are you looking for?
What hand the player is shooting, of course, is really important, and that's going to tell me what their options are. But you know what, the shootout or a penalty shot really comes down to patience, and it's a one-on-one play. It's a mental battle, but most of all, it's really staying on my feet longer than the player has time with the puck.
Technically, are you doing anything a little bit differently? Because you don't have that guy that's passing the puck to the other player, the shooter. So is there anything, are you squeezing the stick a little bit harder? Are you?
You know, I think when you talk to most goalies, what we really generally like to do is come out as far as we can, but that depends on how strong we are as skaters. So for me, I feel like I'm strong enough to come out with 2 pushes. The main thing
And
is...
we made it clear you're pretty angry at the time, too.
And I'm fired up. So,
Right.
But you know what? When we get back, if you watch the shootouts or the breakaways, you're going to see that a lot of goalies are on their feet when they reach the top of the crease, and they're gliding back with their momentum balanced between both of their legs. Most guys don't want to shift side to side because that's when you're going to get moved by putting your weight on the wrong leg.
So dig deep here. This could be on any level. Toughest guy one-on-one in any league that you faced on a penalty shot.
In any league? You know what? There was a guy, Jeff Hamilton, who I used to play against and with from different times in the minor leagues, and I always tell everybody that he was the best shootout player and best practice player I've ever faced.
How about your days as a Ranger?
As a Ranger, Brendan Shanahan was really difficult. Yager, we've had some great players come through here, and everybody's actually really good nowadays. It's that stick technology. Everybody's good.
Okay, time now for Rangers Facts Most Wanted. Did you know that Alex Shabicki, who played for the Rangers in the 30s and 40s, and Pavel Bure are the club's all-time leaders in penalty shot goals with 2? Okay, still to come. We post up and look back at the Rangers' all-time greatest postseason penalty shots. But first, what do you say we go a few rounds, or maybe 15, and look back at the most exciting shootouts in club history? Welcome back, everybody, to Rangers Fans Most Wanted. Scott Lasky along with Rangers goaltender Stephen Valiquette. Now, I just got wind of this. I thought that you were the second tallest goaltender in NHL history, but apparently there's another story here now.
Well, I think it's up for debate, and Henrik, he always teases me about it, you know, when he's walking by me when I'm in the shower. Oh, the tallest goalie in NHL history. And last year there was a goalie that played for St. Louis named Ben Bishop, and apparently he's 6'7", and I'm 6'6". However, we were tested with our different measurements for possible league equipment changes for this season, and I saw the sheet because it was a spec that was sent to us, and on the Word document I saw that he was...
You're taller.
Right.
Wow.
So I don't know. Well, we might have to go to. We might have to call Gary Bettman, Scott.
Well, it should come as no surprise that this big man has made some very big saves in shootouts.
Well, Nick Andropov will be the first shooter of the shootout for Toronto. Andropov begins the shootout with a save by Valiquette. Moving in on Tuskala. Shanahan scores! Now it's Matt Sundin to try and knot it for Toronto. Shoots it high and wide. Well, here we go for the Rangers. If Hossa scores, it's over.
He's got great hands.
Hossa moves in. Goes to the forehand. Scores! And the Rangers pour off the bench to congratulate Valiquette as they have won their first road game of the season.
And here is shot number 1. 1-0 Rangers. On Valiquette. No! Moving in on Viron. Score! Off the post! No! Rangers win!
Here we go. Zherdev against Tuskala. He scores! There's the first one to go in tonight. Stajan against Steve Valiquette. Save! Here comes Freddie Sjustrom. And he scores! Blake moves in on Valiquette. Save, and the Rangers win! Steve Valiquette shuts out the Toronto Maple Leafs.
The ovation he's getting here, he'll get that ovation when he goes in the locker room. He is loved by his teammates.
So let's break down the shootout. League started 2005-2006. What were the guys saying in the locker room when they heard that this was added to the game?
You know what? I thought it was a really good thing personally, even though it's not really the first thing a goalie wants to do to decide a game.
We were going to get to that, actually. It's more pressure on you.
There is a lot of pressure, of course, but you know what? There's pressure everywhere. But we do really enjoy the shootout. I don't think that there's a better feeling in the NHL than winning a game in a shootout.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a strong statement.
I feel that way.
That's
100%,
pretty cool. But
yeah.
you know what? I would think fans feel actually the same way.
I don't think the building gets as loud as you'll hear it through the season than it does when we win a shootout at Madison Square Garden.
How about the mindset? Penalty shot versus shootout. In theory, you have another chance or two if you let up a goal in a shootout versus a penalty shot.
You know, I think it's the same way with any way of life. You have to stay focused in the moment, and it sounds like a vague and broad term sometimes when you say that, but you have to get yourself into the zone. And what I do is I don't become a cheerleader of how we're doing. I'm focused on what my abilities are, so I don't want to pay attention. Sometimes we win and I didn't even know it.
That's amazing.
Because it's not the first thing I want to think about.
So do you have that one memory? There's got to be a shootout memory that stands above all others.
Of course.
Let me hear.
Well, you know what? I mean, this is kind of a long story and I'll keep it short, but there was a player when we went 18 rounds in the East Coast Hockey League that scored on a broken leg. He was on the bench and he went down on 1 foot and scored. And he was the 18th player, and the referee forced him to go out there. So that was, when I tell shootout stories, that's the first one I tell. My most memorable, of course, was my first game at Madison Square Garden when we beat St. Louis.
That makes the American League story look
No,
like
it's
nothing.
amazing. You'd have to see it to believe this story.
Well, now that we know how you get ready for a penalty shot, we're glad you didn't get angry here.
Thank you very much,
so
Scott.
Thanks for being here. We'd love to have you again.
Really enjoyed it.
That's going to do it for this edition of Rangers Fans Most Wanted. We'd like to thank Stephen Valiquette for taking off the mask and pads. We'd also like to thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Scott Lasky. So long, everybody.